Hey, what's up? It's Liam Killen, and in this video we're going to dig into the cutest synth in the game, the OPZ. The last OPZ video that I did was a surface level beginner sort of thing. In this video I'm definitely going to be digging a little bit deeper. We'll be looking into recording parts, mixing, effects, and using a few of the triggers. Here's a little clip of the track. If you're looking for a beginner basic handoff sort of OPZ video, I'll link that in a card above and also in the description below. This little guy could definitely be tricky, so if you're feeling overwhelmed, just feel free to pause the video or rewind to look over certain parts. There is an option, however, to hook up the OPZ to an iPad or an iPhone, but I don't think it's a great idea just because you become reliant on looking at the screen and you're not really using your ears anymore, you're just using a visual. Another important thing that I should mention before we get started is that there's many ways to record into the OPZ, but I'll be focusing mostly on actually performing the parts and not punching them in. So that means actually putting the click on, pressing the record button, and playing the parts to the click. If you're new to this channel, I welcome you with open arms. This is me giving you a hug right now. And I invite you to hit that subscribe button, maybe drop a like or a comment, whatever you want. And if you're already a subscriber, I love you. Great, let's get started. Psych. Upon editing this video, I realized that there were a few mistakes, and so I'll be correcting them as the video goes along. For example, the first mistake was I thought this was called the H button. This one there. If I turn it this way, it definitely looks more like an I. Someone schooled me in my latest OPZ video, and he mentioned that it's called the track button, so I've corrected that throughout the video. A few more corrections as we go along. Stay tuned. This one's like an electro dance number, so right in that 120-ish BPM sort of range. So let's check the tempo. This guy, get out of here. This guy too, I'll put you on this side. To change the tempo, you click on this metronome up top here. Right now I'm at 118, so I'm just gonna go up to... Next correction. So if you want to make your life harder, yes, you could use this knob to change the tempo. So let's turn it up. Now we're at 135. But if you want to make your life easier, you just type in the tempo. So I want it to go to 122. Type it in, and there it is. First thing I'm gonna do is add like a 4 on the floor kick sort of pattern. So
track button.
Kick. I'll make it a 4-bar pattern. H shift, head to 4. I'll find a kick sound that I like. This one's kind of weird. I'll go with that one. Okay, so I'll quantize that. Now I can turn off the click. Here's one way that the OPZ is actually easier to work with than the OP1. So now that we have the kick recorded, we could actually go in and change and tamper with it if we want. This really opens things up, and it doesn't like solidify your mix right away. You have room to move things around if you want. So I'll walk you through this now. Notice that when you press the shift button, the colors on these lights change. I'll explain what each of these knobs stands for within each color. So when it's white, it's pitch, reverse, high pass, low pass, and resonance. If you want to head over to green, you press shift. So now it's ADSR, attack, delay, sustain, release. Purple is for effects. So this is the mix knob. This is the effects itself, and you can tamper with it there. Right now we're on tremolo, and this is the speed of it. This is to change the effects. And honestly, I'm not 100% sure what this is yet. Then when it's orange, you have delay, reverb, panning, and gain. Now, I have literally never used an iPhone or an iPad as a screen. I kind of just relied on my ears and had to figure it out myself. It's really just a matter of becoming more and more familiar with the instrument, and eventually you just get it.
Practice makes perfect.
There are a lot of options for tampering and for effects here, but we are on a kick right now, so I'm not going to do too much to it. I'll head to the white color, and then I'll pitch it down. So the first knob, this is for pitch. Let's play the kick. That's cool. I might add a bit of reverb too. Very slight amount. And we'll bring up the gain slightly. Next, we'll move to hi-hat. So to get there,
track button.
Hi-hat. Once again, we'll make it a 4-bar pattern. So
track button.
Shift, head to 4 bars, and we'll audition a pattern. I'm happy with that. Let's quantize it.
Track button.
Third knob fully quantized. You'll notice that one of the hi-hats actually didn't play. This is one downfall of the OPZ. Sometimes when you program a longer, intricate pattern, some of the notes just don't play. So I'll have to redo that one again. Maybe I'll simplify it. We'll try it again. We'll erase that.
Track button.
Stop to erase the whole thing. We'll arm it, and we'll play the hi-hats. Let's head over to the orange light. Now this is delay. And I'll add a tiny bit of reverb. Let's see what that sounds like. Nice, tasty little effect there. Let's move on to snare. So
track button.
And then the second one here is the snare. Doesn't really look like a snare, but you know, 4 bars. Let's just audition a few snare sounds. None of these are really working for me, so let's head to the second snare bank. I like the snare tone. Let's tamper with it a little bit. Let's bring it down in pitch slightly. So we'll head to the white light. Okay, we'll give it a bit of reverb as well. So head to the orange light, second knob. Cool, happy with that. You know what, for this pattern, let's make it 2 bars. So
track button.
Shift, go back to 2, arm it, here we go. Quantize.
Track button.
Fully quantized. If we wanted to add another percussive element to this one,
Track button.
This one here is percussion.
Yeah.
Second bank. Let's choose this one and we'll cut all the lows. It almost sounds like a clave now, and we'll give it some reverb as well. And we'll also pan it to the right. So that's the third knob on the orange color. And we'll make it a 2-bar pattern once again. Delay. Bring it down in the mix. A nice little subtle percussive thing. Let's arm it and record. Great.
Track button.
Fully quantized. Digging it. Cool, we have our drums. Let's head to bass.
Track button.
B for bass. Okay, super weird, but we're gonna go with it. So once again, we want it to be a 4-bar pattern.
Track button.
Shift, click on 4. I'm just gonna jump right into it and try to record. Here we go. Ooh, first try. Okay, quantize it. There we go. I feel like there's a bit too much resonance in that bass, so we're going to head over to the white light, fourth knob, turn down that resonance. Maybe it needs to be there, I don't know. Make sure that the attack is on full. Here we go. That's a good starting point. So there's actually one thing I didn't mention yet. So hold
track button.
Now we're on sound bank 2. And these are all different presets within that sound bank. So each of these is just a good starting point, and then from there you could tweak to your liking. Next, let's look at some chords. We're gonna stick to bank 1 just because it's like by far my favorite chord sound here. Let's audition it with the track. We'll check a few presets and go from there. So I'll make it a 4-bar pattern.
Track button.
Shift, 4 bars. From here we could tweak this. I want to make this sound more like an evolving pad and not so much a plucky thing. I'll head to ADSR. That's cool. I'll turn this tremolo up as well. Give this some reverb, because why not? As well as some delay. This already sounds good as is, but I want to take it to the next level and randomize it even more and make it sound like it's even more evolving. A good way of doing that on the OPZ is to add triggers. To add a trigger, you hold Shift, click the notes that you want to trigger. So in this case, all of them. Now they're all flashing green, which means they're activated. I'm going to head to this trigger here, which means velocity. If I want all of these notes to be super quiet, I'll go down to 1. If I want them to be moderate, I'll go to 5. If I want them to be loud, I'll go to 9. But there's also the 0 at the end here, which is random. So that means that each of these notes has a random velocity now. I really like that because it adds like a certain unpredictability to these chords. We'll take it a step further. We'll add another trigger. So Shift again. I'm going to select a note that hasn't been selected yet. So something that's empty. And I'm going to choose this trigger here, which basically just adds duration to that specific slot. So if I want to add 2 extra durations to it, I just press 2. If I want to add 3, and so on. You could go all the way to 0. 0 is once again random. So we're going to stick to 2. Every time the playhead gets to this slot here, it adds a duration. So that means that the pattern is moved over by 1 duration every cycle. Interesting stuff. I'll take it even a step further. So let's add 1 more trigger to the same slot. Click on that one. This means that the first trigger that I chose here will only be activated every 2 times. And if I want, I can make it every 3 times, every 4 times, and random, obviously. But we'll stick to 2 times. Depending on the triggers that you choose, you could have a different sequence activate each time that you press play, which is an amazing tool in itself. And I think that's what makes the OPZ so bomb. These chords are donezo. Let's head to melody.
Track button.
Quarter note, so that's the melody slot. Ooh, I really like the effect that's on there. Is that like a tremolo? What is that? It sounds like a super slow filter sweep. I like that. Let's stick to that.
Track button.
Shift, 4-bar pattern, record. Here we go. Right away I messed that up, so let's erase it and restart.
Track button.
Stop, full erase. Here we go. Quantize. There's one other element left in the original track, and that's the arpeggio, but I'm gonna leave that to a different video just because it's kind of its own beast, and I wanna make it the main focus for that video. Besides that, we have completed all of the other elements of the track. Hopefully this was informative for you guys, definitely a little bit more in depth than my last OPZ video. If you're into this sort of content, feel free to destroy that subscribe button. Drop a like, maybe a comment. And once again, if you're already a subscriber, I love you so much. I really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's go out on the track in 5, 4,